What is up, nerds, gamers, amateur movie critics? I'm all those things, and that is why you are here watching Burke the Nerd. And today, I got the Everyday Geeks joining me for a talk about the Eternals trailer. So, in just a second, I'm going to bring them in. Let me make sure my audio is sounding good because there's a couple times I've streamed that just goes off while I talk for 5 minutes and I don't know. So we're gonna bring them in, talk the Eternals trailer, probably watch it once through again, just for those of you that haven't seen it that want to check it out again, and also so we can just give some feedback on it as we've watched it. I watched it earlier today and personally loved the trailer. This was a movie that I was somewhat anticipating, but this one, it just moved way up on my list. So without further ado, before we kind of go into that, let me go ahead and bring in the Everyday Geeks. What? Oh, you're not in for whatever reason. Oh, there you go. See, I can do things right. What is up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having us on.
Of course. Well,
I'm also doing quite good today.
Yeah, dude, I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah. So, what do you guys? Let's just start it off the bat, nice and easy. What were your thoughts? What were your expectations going into this trailer, and how did you feel after seeing this trailer?
Landon, you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Go right ahead, Stormy.
All right. So the build up to this trailer was like kind of long to me, and I have been waiting on this trailer for like 2 years right now, it seems. And like when I heard yesterday that the trailer was probably going to drop tomorrow, I had barely any sleep because I was so nervous. I was like, oh man, am I going to like this trailer? What if I don't find this trailer interesting, and like all my expectations for the movies are like getting down? But I can assure you, it didn't. It didn't. Man, look, this trailer is like the perfect, like, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's the right way for a teaser trailer to be like a teaser trailer, you know? It doesn't really show us anything, but it hypes you up. And I think this trailer is more to use like people to get to know the Eternals, like get to know the characters. That's why we probably didn't even see like any deviants, any Celestials in the trailer. I think this trailer was just for like people that don't read the comics and aren't really into Marvel comics to get to know these characters. And I think that's why this trailer is so good. So yeah, my first reaction on the trailer is very good, very good.
So really quick before we dive too deep, I want to say I totally agree. I just want to take a quick second and thank Filthy Chicken for 11-month subs. Holy crap. And Callisto for tier 2 for 7 months. Also, holy crap, Callisto, thank you so much. Thank you, Filthy Chicken. And also, what is up, Jim? It's been forever, so it is super nice to see you, man. I'm glad you're okay. Glad you're here. I heard you just moved. That is awesome. Congratulations for that as well. And I'm just glad you're here, as well as Tim also made it out. Another Everyday Geek. Sorry you couldn't join us today, but I'm just glad you're here in the chat. I appreciate y'all. It was kind of a bad timing because we started talking, and as soon as you started talking, everybody flooded in. I was like, oh, I want to say hi to everybody. Really quick, one more announcement before we jump back in, because I do want to touch on what Stormy said. I just want to mention one more thing. We're starting. If you were here for the first 5 minutes to wait, you'll notice that the new schedule got put up on the waiting room, and you'll get to see that again at 7 o'clock, because we'll take a 5-minute break at 7 before jumping into our game show fandom fights, which is going to pit 3 panelists that are supporting the shows, the fandoms of Pokemon, of Naruto, and of DC. So they're going to bout it out to battle to decide which is the best fandom. You guys are going to vote and decide live on that. So that's going to be something happening at 7, so wait for that. And then we're going to have the first hour. We got the Everyday Geeks on. It's going to be awesome. Stormmaker, thank you for the 10 bits. You're here. You're here with me. Why do you have time for this? It always is nice to have him. And Abby Case, thank you again. Thank you for being here as well. It's good to see everybody. We got the whole crew here. All right, well, let's just dive back into it. Sorry for that quick break, Stormy.
No problem.
I guess, Landon, you were going into something, so I want to let you go, and then I'll come in.
Yeah, so this trailer was everything I hoped it would be. Stormy hit it nail on the head. It's kind of like a teaser. We're not going to see a lot of action. I feel like this movie is going to be a cinematic, quote unquote, masterpiece, thanks to Chloe Zhao. But I feel like the story could also supersede some of the action that we do see. So we have to kind of think about it in the context of if you watch the Den of Nerds, Josh was kind of talking about this today, like seeing the larger picture in the universe, seeing, you know, some of the other macro things that have been happening in the background through what we have learned to be the MCU up to this point. And I think that this is kind of our introduction into that. So seeing kind of some of what we saw in the trailer today really led me to believe that. And it also gave me some great looks into some of these characters that I haven't really gotten a good look at yet. Like Angelina Jolie looked great today. Selma Hayek looked great. Gemma Chan, obviously, we got Kit Harington and Richard Madden a little bit. So I mean, just like the film itself is going to be phenomenal, and like from a cinematic standpoint. So I'm like, just give me the nerdy content in a closed out movie, and I'm like sold. Like I already like gush over Nomadland constantly. So
you know, I haven't seen Nomadland. I will admit. So I'm going to see that soon. But you brought up a good point.
Out, man.
I know, man. I know. You brought up a great point. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, and you're like, "What am I missing?" You can either go watch it, come back, or we're gonna watch it in a minute and go through it and talk a little bit about it. But I do want to also say you made a great point. This is setting up some big, larger things, and I'm thinking back, and a lot of the disappointment that people have had in the MCU TV shows and Disney Plus, which I would like to preface, I absolutely love both of them. But some people have had disappointment that they're not paying off larger storylines, and honestly, like I think that might have been why I was just so excited to see this trailer, because we're coming out of WandaVision, which was a pretty isolated story. Sure, there may be some overall impacts, but really the things that we see are smaller. Falcon Winter Soldier was relatively small, and now and even Shang-Chi doesn't seem to be promising any larger impact in a very large scale way, at least from what we've seen. Same with Black Widow, and now we go to Eternals, and it's the full flip of that, where it's like we're seeing the history of the MCU. That's basically what they just said to us. Like, you're gonna see the MCU, how it got started. This is it. Jim, thank you for the emotional support, man. I appreciate it. What were we saying, Stormy?
Yeah, so I just wanted to quickly, because like you brought up the point that some people like didn't like the shows. Like, today, actually, like one of the watchers of our channels, Wayne Reeferman Reviews, he was like having like some kind of like a Twitter chat with like you were in that chat also, Bert.
Yeah.
And Wayne is one of the people that really didn't dig this trailer. Now, like I said to him on Twitter also, like his reason is just because like he expected more out of this trailer. Now, here's
which is
also
understandable.
The thing that some people maybe offer. It's totally he's in his own right to be like not really like up to note with this trailer. Another thing that people have to take into consideration is that this wasn't even the first trailer. This was the first teaser trailer.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
Like I said, I mean it's.
And I would like to say too, Wayne is an awesome guy. I hope he's here. I don't know if he's here or not, but Wayne is an awesome guy, and so that was such a fun conversation talking about, because you know I got so hyped about the trailer, and he made a really good point. He's like, we didn't really see much, like in terms of like actionable information on the plot. We really didn't, and I'm like, honestly, like. I think for me, I was just like, wow, there was such cool like camera works, like Jim said. There was just like the cinematography; it just looked beautiful, and so like
we saw more than 15 seconds. So like,
that is true. That is true.
We're gonna gush on anything that was more than the 15 seconds or 10 seconds that we got from that other Marvel, loves the movies or whatever.
Yeah, true.
Right. And so
gorgeous.
Diving into that, like what I'd like to talk with you guys, Dark Pascal, Marvel sucks now. Well, you're lucky because later today you're gonna have a friend is gonna be defending DC later, so you can go in there and champion your side. Which by the way, that's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure you don't miss that. But Pascal, that's so funny. Marvel sucks now. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. This is the thing, though. Like, it does... You could feel... Shang-Chi looks awesome. Shang-Chi was my most anticipated property in the MCU coming up. Second was Black Widow, just because it was positioned originally to be the next one to come out, obviously. And then But seeing Eternals and Stormy, credit to you. Stormy said since the beginning, it's gonna be Eternals. Eternals, it could be the best MCU movie we ever get.
Bro, I'm going to. Look here. Best MCU movie. Like, look,
You've been saying it. It's
No,
been
but
like
listen,
a year or two.
man, I'm going to say it right now, man. With Chloe Zhao, like she's like picking up all this steam with like her latest movies and like
Yeah.
with her winning the Oscar, man.
And then have
I
a
wouldn't
star-studded
even be-
cast.
Dude, a star-studded cast. Like this movie has all the potential. Look, I wouldn't even be surprised if this is going to be the first Marvel movie to challenge to win the Oscar for Best Picture next year.
You
This
know
movie
what?
Will be
That's a
incredible.
good
I think
point.
it might.
That's a really good discussion to have because I mean,
Will.
first of all, we're talking about the Academy here, and they're all about like for one, like they're hitting every box. They're hitting every box. You know, like they have star-studded cast, so you
Mhm.
can't say that it's not like the acting performances aren't there. You're hitting an international audience. You have like an international cast, multicultural cast. Like you have so much like diversity in the cast, the acting, the world building, the story, like and a direct of like writer and directors that are like accredited. Like there's no way it's going to be positioned to do. Obviously, you can't speak that it's going to be perfect. We don't know yet, but this like even 2 minutes of footage, not even 2 minutes of footage, like was like enough to build a lot of hype. And honestly, from me, I have always said this before, I'm a lore nerd. I like the idea of world building. And so to see this, which like the entirety of the set pieces that we got were new versus like and like mystical and like
Wow.
historical, like
Man.
that
That
for me
ship,
is crazy.
Dude, wow.
And this look, and this is also like
Or
a thing,
whatever
like,
that you want to
the-
call that thing.
Yeah. Which
Which
I hope we get an explanation for.
This is also like what Landon is bringing up,
Mm.
like the shots. Like this is also another thing with this movie. Look, Chloe Zhao got like permission from Marvel to shoot way more like outdoor shots and like real time shots with this movie. Look, all these Marvel movies, while they look really cool and dope, you always see that those movies have been recreated on a green screen. You
Mhm.
just see that, like some of the special effects, like
That's fair.
you see that they've been made with a
Very
green screen. Now that doesn't
transparent
mean
to
that they're
point.
not good. You see it with this movie, like with all those set photos with like her like on like this Spanish island like Fuerteventura where she was like shooting on this volcano. Like you will really see that, and we saw the volcano eruption in the trailer.
Right.
I mean, of course, that volcano eruption didn't occur in real time, but like
Wait,
real life.
I have-
Like, yeah,
I have
go
an
ahead.
important thing I need to step in. Which volcano erupted in that?
It's the one on Fuerteventura, so it's oh my god, my geography on school was kind of like one
It's
of
not
my-
it's
of my
not
gr-
what's it called? What's the one in Rome or
let me-
Italy? What's the one in Italy?
No, that's the Italy. I think that's the Etna. I don't think that's
The one in Loki. I'm saying, is it the same one as the one in Loki?
Oh,
what was
Pompeii.
that? Pompeii.
Pompeii.
It's
No,
not Pompeii, right?
It's
Okay.
it's not Pompeii.
I didn't pay attention to that part. I didn't notice. Because I was gonna say, like, what if he's just like not in the movie, but it's like they're in the same place? That would have been. But anyway,
So Stormy, to that point, wasn't there something confirmed or discussed recently that Chloe Zhao shot like a large portion of this movie during golden hour? If you're into like photography,
Yeah.
unless you know what that is or what that means, like because she was looking for so many natural shots, like you pointed
Yeah.
out, she actually shot a lot of this live, right at the beginning of like dawn or right before dusk.
right.
Yeah, I think you can definitely see that because like the
Oh gosh,
lighting. in
those
this- yeah.
the ocean shots
Yeah.
were gorgeous, and then like the lighting when the ship came in and everything.
Yeah.
It's that
Man,
this
what are
film
we
is going
even-
to be
So
a
beautiful.
What are we
cinematic
even going to like?
masterpiece.
What are we even going to describe that ship as?
I
man?
know. All right, let's
the,
take.
the floating granite plate of the universe.
So, why don't you guys
It's the
also?
universe's countertop.
I think to be fair to everyone here, why don't we watch it one more time through, just in case if you haven't seen it, we're not totally lost, and then we can talk about it a little more. If you guys want to pull it up, we can play it in sync. That way, you're not watching it on playback on my stream, if that works, or however you want to do it. Let me quickly just read off what Jim said, and then Mike Porter as well.
Oh my gosh,
Jim said, "Why not Doctor Strange? I think Doctor Strange is going to be awesome. I don't doubt me. Like I absolutely want to see Doctor Strange probably as much as Eternals.
Don't doubt
but
Bird.
it's so far away. I know it's not, but it feels so far away that I'm just kind of like shelving my excitement for that and putting it all into Eternals. No one is talking about Harrington and Madden starring some a female named Cersei.
Oh my god, Mike.
That's funny, but you know what's awesome?
Mike's comment.
Do you know what's awesome? Wait, Mike said, "I'm having, Mike, good to see you, man. I'm having phone charging problems. Hopefully you'll stay. Hopefully we'll get you for a while, man. We'll need your votes in the second half of the stream." Is that a ship or a giant TV remote, dude? It's like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type spaceships in that. Really quick, I was watching the new Rockstars trailer reaction for this because I wanted to like get some other insight before having my stream, see what they're talking about. And one thing that he pointed out that I thought was absolutely awesome and definitely not at all part of their casting decision, but makes me so happy, is that in season 1 of Game of Thrones, when Robb Stark parts ways with Jon Snow, he says, because Jon Snow's heading off to Castle Black to take on the Black, he says, "Next time I see you, you'll be all in black." And then he never sees him again on the show. And the next thing they're in together is this, where he's playing the Black Knight. It's incredible. That's so cool. That is so cool. I'm so glad that he picked that up. That like credit to Eric Voss. I don't know how I don't know if it's a team behind him or if they have
Definitely.
it has to be a team of them.
Totally,
it seems like he's like a hyper nerd. He knows everything. I don't know. But they picked that out. I'm like, that is incredible that you picked that out because that is just awesome. And as a partial Game of Thrones, I don't know how to say it. As a former Game of Thrones fan, I'm still a Game of Thrones fan, but I'm like, it's rough. We'll just say as a Game of Thrones fan, I'll say it. I guess I'm still a Game of Thrones fan. I as a Game of Thrones fan, I appreciate that a lot.
6.
Yes.
Only.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, Callisto, it is crazy. So look how giddy you are all are over the MCU. I know, right? That's us.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's pull up this Eternals trailer. Let's watch it together for everybody that hasn't seen it, but also just kind of get maybe just a little bit more of a light on it. Let's go ahead and watch it. Do you guys have it up? I have to pull it up here.
So can we give? Are we going to be silent for 2 minutes, or can we give commentary?
I say we talk through it. I mean, most of us have seen it. If you haven't, definitely go back and watch it again. But I think we just go through it. Let me go ahead and pull it up here so everyone can see it on my screen as well. All right, I am. Let me let it load up. Okay. I am at the beginning of it. I have it loaded up, and I'm gonna hit play in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. So these shots with the Seaman, it looks gorgeous.
So good.
Yeah.
I don't know where they shot this, but this looks absolutely amazing.
Also, I'm going to give a little bit to say on the skits who's going to be in this trailer just yet. So this kid being here debunks my theory that he was going to play Kid Namor.
Right.
So I'm kind of sad about that.
Yeah.
A giant arrowhead of a ship.
I know. Is this them first landing at or coming to Earth or I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I think so. Somehow it looks so good.
Well, actually,
And same with this guy right here.
Yeah.
Magic.
Well, actually, I think it's when they come back to Earth because the Eternals are based off Earth. They were made on Earth by the Celestials. So I think they have gone away, but they are now coming back.
Oh, this looks beautiful.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie looks like a queen in that costume.
This larger shot. Oh.
Yeah. So that scene, she kind of looked startled in London. I almost wonder if that's them coming too. It kind of seems like there's 2 distinct time periods, but maybe I'm wrong. No, 3. No.
maybe even just her realizing at that moment
Right, and this
that like
look,
that
Oh.
how
this
much
shot
has
is just
changed,
incredible.
how much she's seen, how much has
Yeah.
impacted. And
Oh, wait.
that shot looks
Let's
great.
really quick make sure everyone can hear this one because this part's like the best, my favorite part.
Thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome.
So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think's gonna lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
I love.
All right.
Oh, I love that
really,
so much.
really quick about this last scene with them being at the table. You see this guy sitting next to Kingo, sitting next to Camille Nunjami's character.
Yeah.
All right, so it has already been confirmed that this guy will be his personal cameraman. That he will have like a personal camera crew with him,
Oh,
and that this guy will like photograph and like put everything the Eternals do on footage in the movie. So
oh,
he's like his personal like camera guy.
oh,
So I think that's kind of like a cool way to do it.
dude. So yeah, okay. So there's a couple things I want to talk about the trailer. The first thing is it looks like we know this is like what, Babylon? Am I right about that? What is the
Ancient Babylon, yeah.
Ancient Babylon? Okay, so we know that, and it seems like they're like coming back for that or something. And then, you know, there's a bunch of theories of what happened. You know, their minds being wiped by Sprite or whatever happens there. And then we're also saying that who's the one that's probably a villain? I'm blanking on his name.
It's Druig. It's
Druig.
Druig played
So
by Barry Keoghan.
yeah, so it looks like Druig is like in his own little compound that he made. Supposedly, that's like the current theories.
Oh.
Like and then we see the guys with the guy with the overalls with like the shotgun. I'm gonna assume that that's like one of his underlings that's there, and they're like all just kind of hicks because they're living out in the like boonies with him.
Yeah, and they like you see in one of these shots in this trailers that like one of these guys with like the overalls have like these glowy eyes. So that's Druig's doing. Like Druig has like this capability in the comics that he can like mind control and like
Okay.
he can mind control people. He can make people do all sorts of like crazy stuff. So I think that's what's that.
Pascal, thank you for the Prime sub, man. 4 months, dude. Thank you so much. Seriously. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, I think that's gonna be what that is. And so I don't know how he fits in as like a villain. It seems weird. Like right now, obviously this is a teaser, but this gave us nothing about the actual plot. And it doesn't do much
But
to
isn't that the whole
answer.
point?
Right, you're right. And it does nothing to answer about where they've been this whole time, which brings me to my next point. And let me and I'll say this, then I'll read Mike Porter's comment, and then I'll come back to it. One of like where have they been this whole time? And then for them to have that conversation at the end where they said, well, now that Tony and Cap are gone, which they didn't say dead again. So where the heck is Captain America? Didn't say dead once again.
On the moon.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Just tell us where he is, what happened to him. They better, like, you have to have a plot line coming to do something like that. That's some bull. I'm not okay with it.
What
Anyway, like to have this, like them talk about that, and not just talk about that, but talk about it very like nonchalantly, jokingly about like, oh, they're gone. I wonder who's next. Either means they were A, involved and we don't know, or B, like they're just okay with it. Like, why are they like if it's after the fact, why are they so cool with the fact that they weren't involved or helped at all? Like they don't feel any guilt about that? Like, I don't know. It just seems interesting. I loved it. I loved the scene. I thought it was hilarious, but it begs a lot of questions about what is going on during that time. I'll let you guys think on that for a second. Let me read Mike's thing really quick before you guys answer it. With my heart surgery in 90-degree weather, I have to take a pillow to keep my guts in. I'm limping around telling everyone in my neighborhood on the hot asphalt how great the MCU is. I'm stopping traffic. Pain medicine is great, and so is my love for the MCU.
Goodness, Mike.
What the heck, Stormy?
He
Thank
is
you for the
a
gifted
graphic
sub too.
Hazard.
No problem, man.
Thank you so much,
Wow.
Stormy. You're here. Why are you doing this while you're live?
Stormy is a hero.
Because I'm hyped about the Eternals trailer. And I wanted
He's
to
the
do
hero of
something
the
for the
chat.
Well, dude, I appreciate that. Mike is a super fan on the street, guts falling out, telling people about the MCU.
Just imagine him with like a walker and like a hospital gown, just like
Oh.
showing blood through the chest part, like walking down the street. Did you see the turn?
Yeah. Also, Darth Pascal says Captain America joined Magic Mike's team and he strips now. Well, listen, if he does that,
Totally.
he's old man Cap, so he's effectively Joe Biden out there doing that. And I don't know if there's enough of a market in there. You might argue there is. I don't know. That's a whole different. That's a
Maybe for
whole different
Biden
stream
only,
topic.
but probably
We're
not
gonna
really.
shelf that stream topic for another day. Come back when the Everyday
For a
Geeks
while.
talks about Captain America's old man Cap's life as a adult performer. Okay, you know the thing. Oh, you know the thing. Yeah, congratulations to Abby for the sub, and thank you Stormy again for that. Cause says, yay, Abby's one of us. Yes. All right. Sorry,
One
back to
of
my
us.
thought. The question I was
One
asking.
of us.
The question I was thinking about. Is there guilt? Were they there? What happened? What's going on with that?
Honestly, so here's my thought. They are fully aware of everything that goes on in the MCU as we know it today, but they are not fully aware that they have powers. We're looking at them in two different aspects. We're seeing them in a similar place where we see them at the beginning of the trailer when they're in their suits and kind of coming off the ship and arriving or coming back.
Right.
So now again in modern times, they still exist. You can tell they're kind of in modern clothes and they're
Right.
looking a little bit more modern as they're sitting at that table and they ask that it's like a fun callback, but it's also like them acknowledging that like they know what's going on in the universe, but then it's going to be explained as to why they haven't been involved or what the purpose of them not getting involved is. Because I still think that we're looking at like a way larger scale than just Earth. Like we are being brought into a cosmic multiversal like story arc with the Eternals. I think it's going to introduce some of those pieces, especially with the Celestials and the Deviants and everything else. So like when we get down to the nitty gritty, we are going to see a lot of these references to it, but the Eternals are going to either explain why they couldn't get involved or they didn't physically realize that they were capable of getting involved.
Yeah.
Or what, or the darker option, which is they let it happen. They knew it was going to happen. They chose to let it happen, and they continued to allow these things to happen because their involvement can only come at a certain degree.
So the big theory out there about how these Eternals will get like their consciousness. I mean, they have their consciousness, but like how these Eternals will get to know that they are Eternals again, is that Dane Whitman, like he's an archaeologist in the comics. So what he will do is probably, because we saw it in stat photos, that he will find the tomb of the space gods, and once he triggers something in this tomb, that's when all these Eternals like around the world will get this trigger in their head, remembering who they were. Maybe there even is like a little cameo for a character called Bonfire in there. I don't know. But
We can only hope.
we could only hope, you know. But yeah,
He ditched
I
his
think that's the
team.
way.
So like he bailed.
Sorry.
He bailed on the Burtastic Four. So
No,
why
he's-
would you want to give a character
no.
already ditched
No. Here's the thing.
I don't know,
Here's
man.
the thing. Bonfire.
a cameo?
Bonfire is on a mission right now that has major. If this thing goes bad, that
You
has
can't prove it.
Major implications.
You
I can, man.
There's no evidence.
Dude, it's my character.
Where's the
It's fine,
evidence?
do whatever the fuck I want with it.
Where's the
Where
proof?
is the lore? I need the lore.
Oh
The
my
lore's
goodness.
not there. I don't believe it.
That's true.
Also,
So-
look, another thing, really quick, with like all these like Eternals, like it isn't even confirmed if like these are the only Eternals we are going to see in the movie. Now, I don't want to
Oh.
overtake it.
Very
We
true.
heard some things back in the day, because like there are like some major like Eternals from in the comics that like aren't in this thing, who would you think like are in the team in the comics? Like Zuras, Star Fox, Hyperion.
Star
Those are like
Fox,
characters that are Star Fox. Yes.
like the actual
He's
Star
the
Fox.
rumored- No,
to
no,
be
no,
in
not who?
Star Fox.
Is Falco
Star
in it
Fox.
too?
Thanos' brother.
There's
or
a
whatever.
well. Here's the thing. There's the rumor.
Do barrel roll.
There's a rumor that Harry Styles is cast as Star Fox in the movie, but just as a cameo. So we'll have to wait and see. Man.
That'd be. I
Yeah, but
mean,
what is a Marvel cameo these days? A Marvel cameo could be like half the movie at this point.
Indeed.
Let's be real.
if you're scripting the WandaVision, then that's how that works.
Yeah, Mephisto was in every episode.
Of
guys.
course. I saw reports that fans were underwhelmed with the Eternals release. I don't want to know these fans. Hey,
No,
that's
I
at the
don't
end of the
do
day.
that.
At the end of the day, it's like it's just a matter of expectations, what you want, and it's totally cool with all this. The Avenger,
like-
what's up, man?
I don't want to go too deep into it, but it's like there's this like small group of like the fan base out there since WandaVision. Some people are like had like a bowling ball fell on their feet, and now they are like kind of hurt with Marvel, and now they are like kind of like not being like as like hyped for some things. I don't know, man, how this occurred, but like I'm still very hyped for this movie.
Sorry, Pascal. Let me bet my cats would be the thrill of losing.
It doesn't
my money.
really matter what this movie does. Like, let's sit here for a moment and be real. This movie can stand alone on its own entirely and not connect to anything else inside of the MCU. We already know it does because they're making Avengers references. But the way this film is going to be built, the plot line, the character arcs we're going to see, literally don't interact with our MCU whatsoever. So the fact that we think this has to connect or has to be a part or lead into something or tell us larger story as a piece of what we've already seen is kind of fiction. It's fan fiction. It's what we're hyping ourselves up to believe is going to happen and then get let down when it doesn't happen. I think that's the story of Disney Plus and Phase 4 up to this point with the MCU is they've hyped up WandaVision, they hyped up Falcon Winter Soldier, and literally you can chalk it up to the pandemic for ruining the story arcs that they put in place because it would have made way more sense and had a lot more meaning if Doctor Strange showed up in WandaVision. We know
Right.
now that he should have been there. And then obviously Falcon Winter Soldier had a massive plot line cut from it because it was too relatable to the existing situation inside of the world that we were living in. So like the Eternals was never meant to connect anything. If we want to talk about MCU connectivity and what it means for the global MCU as we know it, we have to talk about Shang-Chi. We have to talk about Shang-Chi because Eternals. If we can literally not get a trailer, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh wait, Eternals 2."
Yeah, dude. So really quick to your point. Sorry, I
What
mean
is
Darth
happening?
Pascal said, "Stormy, you've been working out. I can see your biceps all the way over here."
Yeah, don't you see?
And
it, man?
Avenger made a good point, too.
I'm like working on the Arnold Schwarzenegger look right now. Like, yeah, I still
Oh
have a
my
long way
God.
to go, but I'm definitely on my way.
So, so really quick, just to jump onto that, I think. Oh my God, Darth Pascal.
Oh my no! Now I think I might go away.
Do a Stormy flex, Mike says. This is our version of the hot tub streams. This is just having Stormy on flexing for us. Give
Oh,
them
man.
bits to Stormy. Sorry, continue. Anyway, yeah, like it's just
Oh,
a
Oh my head is like turning red as a tomato right now.
It's so
I'm
funny.
sorry.
You're good, man. It's definitely one of those things where it's like there's a level of hype and then what you actually get. And I think honestly the pandemic, more even than reshoots or more even than writing plans, I think the biggest thing that impacted the series and future and the fandom as a whole is that it gave us such a large gap between Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home, which gave us nothing about the future of the MCU. We got nothing about the future for far too long, which really let our community grow, but it also heavily screwed up. It screwed up the plan. Like we didn't have an idea of what the plan was, so we made our plan ourselves. All the fans said this is what's going to happen, and then it totally didn't end up happening the way that all these fans built it up to be. And fans' imaginations are too crazy.
Thank you for saying that.
So I think ultimately the biggest thing that faulted the shows was just the fan hype that comes when you have nothing to do in a pandemic except sit there and theorize for a year and a half. And I think that's what happened is like people like their theories too much that they're not willing to accept an alternative. Really quick, I think Marvel will connect each other all. Avenger says, I think the Marvel will connect with each other all the time MCU-wise somehow, just like they did with Guardians, just like the Guardians did, but opens the door to cosmic entities. I agree. And I also think that it's also important to note that just because WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't give us a lot of direct ties now, does not mean that they will not be used in the future to do that. Because we've seen time and time again where connective tissue goes backwards rather than forward. Instead of them saying, oh, we're setting up for this thing in a future property, it's in the future property, they reference back to that thing. And I think that's much more likely to happen. And I think that's what they're going for with these Disney Plus series. An homage back to the series that we watched, a payment for watching that can reward us for watching those series without having a requirement that you had to watch it. Galaxy Man, Alyssa EJ Rich, good to see you. Let's see what you guys said. Stormy is all beef, twisted steel, and sex appeal. Ain't that the truth? Stormy should be Wonder Man. Also true. Galaxy Man says, why is there a hot tub streamer ad came up when I clicked on the stream? It's because Stormy's here and they were prepping you for it. Yeah. I could be a good actor. I'd be perfect for Sam Willis. Alyssa says Eternals trailer. OMG, I'm in the middle of the woods, kind of literally.
If you guys
I just got service out. Go watch it. Go watch it.
If you guys like. For like a fee a month, I would like definitely start the OnlyFans, but like I mean,
only nerds.
Oh my gosh,
only nerds. Yeah.
Oh, you're in Maine. Oh, I love it up there. Oh, Maine is so cool. I'm going up there in the summer. Oh,
so Berg, do you want me to maybe like go into like some like Eternals comics things?
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about the comics and how you feel like that informs what we're seeing in this teaser and what you expect for this for this movie. Maybe give us some context.
All right. Yeah, so without not like really going too deep into it, so the Eternals is like a separate breed of like human characters from like on planet Earth. So back in the day, the Den of Stormy, oh my god. So back in the day, the Celestials came to Earth, and they created 3 separate races. They created the Eternals, they created the Deviants, and they created the normal human beings. So what happened? So the human beings, of course, became like the dominant species on Earth. The Deviants had to went into hiding because they are like these monster type of like beings, and the Eternals, they kind of like left Earth and they went to do space missions and things like that. But like after a couple of like years, after a couple hundred of years, they came back to Earth and they became like the background guardian angels of planet Earth. So that's why the Eternals are like have been around for so long, but nobody really knows the Eternals until like recently in the comics. And like also like some of the things that I can definitely see in this trailer, it's just like the shots. Like these Eternals comics are really like perfectly colored, and like the pictures in these Eternals comics are perfect. And I think they are really like putting it into live action with this. And like also like some of the things that we have been seeing with like, oh my god, I see all these.
I wasn't gonna say anything. Oh, Richard, thank you for the 100 bits, and you are now the stream boss, man. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Seriously, appreciate it, man. This is a beefcake stream, Mike Porter said. Continue, please.
So what I was saying, like we see like ancient Babylon and like we see like once I don't know which Eternal this who's talking, like we never intervened until now. We see like these shots of like ancient times where like these like guys on like horses with like ancient armor like slicing people. I don't know what I saw.
Right.
I think I saw that. So just those things occur in like the Eternals comics also, like at least the really old ones. And what we also saw, and this is like a little cool thing, and this is like something that I really love. We saw the love triangle between Icarus, Cersei, and Dane Whitman. We didn't see Dane Whitman all that much in the trailer, but we at least got a nod to it, because like what happens in the comics, for the longest time, Cersei and Icarus were in a relationship. But when we get to present day time, you have Dane Whitman being around, who is of course the Black Knight wielding the Ebony Blade, and Cersei falls in love with Dane Whitman. Icarus never really had any problems with it. I don't know why, but like actually, Dane Whitman and Cersei were like major parts of the Eternals in the 80s, and they were kind of like not really the leaders, but definitely important members. And there's this whole storyline that happens with like her mind controlling Dane Whitman and him being renamed into Proxer, and like it's like this really difficult storyline that they probably aren't going to do in the MCU, but it's definitely cool to point at all those also.
Right. Yeah, there's so much there. And thank you for that kind of catch up to where we are. So a question I have for you is, could a reason, so one of those big things, again, the problem I'm having is there's no guilt. There doesn't seem to be any guilt in the conversation they're having. So a discussion Landon made me think of is, would it be possible that they are meeting not aware that they have powers yet? For example, if, let's say, Sprite erased their memory, right? Could it be she assembled all of them together, not making them aware that they've lost their memory, and then tells them then at that dinner that that's what it is? So they're talking about it, and maybe when he makes that joke that, oh, I could be it, maybe they all know each other or something, but like they don't know that they have powers. It's like, oh, I could be that, I could replace them. Maybe they're laughing because right now they don't know he has powers or something like that. And that's why they're talking about it versus like, versus like if he actually had powers, they'd be kind of like a somber joke. Right. Like if they made it versus otherwise, it's kind of like a somber joke because it's like, you should have been there, like, because that's what I'm seeing in my head. Now, I could also say that maybe it's because they see it as like a mortal fight, but that was half of the universe. That's not really exactly a mortal fight. The other question, though, is what if...
Hold on. So there's an argument to be made there, because you could argue that if they are there to sustain life, the best way to sustain life was to allow Thanos to go in and snap away half all of life, because then the rest of life had resources to actually live and sustain itself.
So you're saying they're Thanos sympathizers? They're flag smashers?
I'm not saying that they're flag smashers. I'm sitting here saying that there is a good chance that they were well aware of Thanos' plan from the very beginning. They allowed it to happen, and they actually saw it as a positive thing for the planets and the universes and the worlds that he did this to, because they saw it as something that was truly impactful and would make a change for the better of the world or the universe, compared to what we saw it as a selfish act by Thanos to literally just wipe out half the universe, because he felt it was his duty, his responsibility to save the universe in that manner. He didn't have any other construct other than that throughout the entire Infinity Saga. If you give him more quote-unquote supporters, as you'll call them, people that rationalize with his ideal, yes, it's not the perfect way to do something. It's not the best way to do something, many would argue.
Dude,
I'm hearing that Landon is I'm hearing that Landon's a Thanos sympathizer, is what I'm hearing.
I'm going to be completely honest also. Like after Infinity War, I was kind of on the side of like, yeah, I don't respect what Thanos did, but I can definitely see where he was coming from.
Oh my, I'm getting Thanos sympathizers here. F in the chat.
Whoa.
Also, Parker, what's up, man? Good to see you. Alyssa says, I can't contemplate that this is in the same universe as Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, honestly, it's interesting. I got my rubber stoppers on my walker, Mike says, when I'm walking around the neighborhood. Oops, I forgot my tie my hospital gown, but the neighbor knows they have CU rules. Rob Stark and Jon Snow will cross swords in the movie Nerds Theory. Okay, I'm done. Oh my. I'm a challenge judge. Oh, you guys are crazy right now.
Oh my gosh.
Is it young Galaxy Man says, is it young Thanos going to show up in the film? And that brings me to my next hypothetical. What if Thanos defeated them already?
No, I don't think so.
What if you don't think that it's possible that he beat them and then later they came and beat the
I think it's
No,
more likely
think-
that Thanos, or they were fully aware of Thanos and agreed with his plan and his plot and let it all occur than them having already been defeated.
No, I don't. I actually think that like when Thanos was doing his reign as like Thanos and like doing all these like things to the universe, like I think that was still when the Eternals were still, when Dane Whitman didn't already find the tomb of the space gods, and I think that's when the Eternals were still in like their like we don't remember we are Eternals phase. So I just don't think they were like conscious of what Thanos was doing at that point. So
Yeah, that's fair. So I definitely think there's like I don't know. It just seems weird. I agree with Alyssa who says, I would sympathize with Thanos if he didn't literally kill half of the population of those early planets in cold blood before the snap. So like,
Hey, I'm over here like I don't agree with what he did. I'm just saying that they could set up a situation in which the Eternals are just like whatever, we let them do it. Like,
oh my
come
God.
on.
Give them their swastikas too while they're at it. Set them up right. Over here. There's
You
no
made the
way.
comparison. I didn't go there. You went there. I did not go
I
there.
think it's fair to compare Thanos to Hitler. I think that's a fair comparison.
whoa, don't go too far.
What? He's a bad. He killed
No,
half of
but
the
listen,
universe.
Listen, man. You're talking
Hey,
to a
they came
European
back.
right now.
The half
Wait,
of
wait,
the
wait. Did
universe.
they
It's
were
really, like,
dead, or did they just
comfortable.
like go somewhere else?
Did they go? They didn't go somewhere else. He killed them.
But listen, he killed those people. He snapped them. But do
Oh.
you think those people felt like any pain?
That's true.
They just
That's
got
true.
snapped away.
According
It
to
was
them,
like
no.
That's
And
true.
it was an instant in time. They didn't exist at all. It was one moment to the next. where they were
Okay,
back.
so it is painless, I guess, but it's not painless to the people that were alive still and
I mean,
lost
some
their
people
loved
didn't
ones.
feel so good, but like
Like some people didn't feel so good. That's a direct quote. No, I think it's like I don't know. I think it definitely was like, why not double the resource? There's definitely issues with his ideology. I like the character in that he has a reason for doing what he's doing. And I think they do such a great job of explaining Thanos' idea. But you guys really don't think that there's a reality where it could be that they already fought him and lost?
no, I don't think so. Because actually Thanos is one of these like younger Eternals actually, like although like I mean Thanos has been around for a long time, but like he's not quite as old as these other guys. He and Starfox are like the second generation of Eternals, I would say, to call it that way.
Okay.
So I don't think like I mean it could have been that he has like a rough teenage, like a rogue teenager could have done something to them.
Yeah,
But
you're saying he wouldn't have been in a
I'm not
place to
sure.
beat them. I see what you're saying.
No, I don't think so. He was still like a teenager face in that moment.
Okay. So it's interesting. I'm like curious what encounter it's not confirmed that he's in there, is it? It's just a rumor, right?
Yeah,
It's
just like
been
the
rumored
Starfox,
for a long
it's just
time.
a rumor.
Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant about that rumor. It just feels I mean I don't know. It feels like it would be
I don't wanna
unnecessary.
go back to
It also seems like a lot of this is isolated.
I think it would take away from the movie, man.
I
I
agree.
think with Thanos being in there, it would like take like all the air out of the room. I wouldn't even like it, but like
Yeah.
I mean, if he's in there as a cameo, like that would be cool.
Yeah, I think I
Like
agree with
the-
that. Mike said, "Let me
So
ask you a
read Mike's
question." What do you say?
question, Yeah, that's a
Mike-
good one.
Yeah, Mike Porter says, "Let me ask you a question. If Thanos snaps and half of life is gone, does that include plants? Because with just half of plant life, we are not surviving."
Mhm.
So then you enter a philosophical question, because I believe part of that is the Soul Stone's doing. So do plants have souls? Which is a whole different discussion. I might be inclined to argue no. And maybe for the MCU's argument, they argued no. But I'm going to go with him assuming he meant sentient life. Or to me, which I think doesn't even extend to animals. So I think he actually just did like sentient, like, I don't want to say humanoid, but like, yeah, like sentient, like human level sentience beings, which is weird because you would argue that there's probably different varying levels of sentience across the Marvel universe. So it's definitely a blurred line. Not really sure how that works out. I think it's a little bit too much. They're going to have to really explain this. If they just support Thanos, the audience won't like them. I wouldn't. Sorry for the ad on Discord, but I sent something interesting for the film. All good, man. Falcon Winter Soldier confirmed animals died. Oh, okay. Good to know. Really quick, we got about like 3-ish more minutes before we close off this and get ready for our game show, which is going to be the second half of the stream. So I do want to quickly just kind of get your last remarks on this trailer and kind of where your hype level is for the movie.
All right, so my hype level went just from like 100 to like 1,000. Like, I think the biggest takeaway that I have from this trailer is like just that they look very good in their costumes.
Right.
Especially like Ajax and Icarus. I think their costumes are kind of like the most awesome ones. Ajax especially with like that headpiece. Also like Angelina Jolie as Tina. Like I said, she just looks like a queen in that costume. I can't wait, man. And actually, like this movie is like only 5 months away. No, 6 months away now.
Yeah.
I mean, it will be. We will see this movie before we know. That's only the thing
right.
I will say. If it doesn't get pushed away again,
of
course.
And then Landon, for you?
Yes, the trailer was very impressive. Made me excited to see the rest of the film, how everything else plays out. Everybody looked great in it. Intrigued to see kind of the story that they play off of and pick for these characters. And with the sequel kind of already announced or rumored, just knowledge that there's more of a story to be told here.
Right.
Definitely excited for it. My biggest takeaway from it is going to be like, I'm interested to see how they play into the rest of the MCU.
Yeah.
How they make that connection, if they make that connection in this property, because I could actually see them taking the chance and not connecting it to anything, and even explaining any of what we've been discussing, and then going for that in the second movie after we're fully introduced to these characters, understand a little bit more of their background, what they were doing, why they were doing it, because I feel like there's a macro story at play here, and that's what we're going to get.
Yeah.
There's maybe one more thing that I wanted to say on it.
Yep.
I think like maybe this movie doesn't even need to tie into anything that comes after. I think with this movie, like even also already like filling in like many blanks with what happened before like current time, I think that is enough. I don't think this movie, except for like a little cameo of like a character popping in the movie, I don't even know if I want this movie to be like tied into all these other things at this moment. That's just like a personal favorite I have.
Yeah. All right. I like that. Well, thank you both for coming on. Guys, make sure you go ahead and follow Boulder Doobies on Twitch. If you want to drop your link in there in the description or in the chat for them. And then also follow Everyday Geeks over, which includes Stormy, who's the kind of running this stuff along with Timmy which I think he's still in the chat. Go check them out over on YouTube. They're both putting content out all the time. You can also see them in my Discord, but they'll both drop their links in here as well. Thank you both for coming on. We're going to bring you guys out so I can get ready for the next part of the stream. Thank you guys both so much again.
Cool.
Sounds good, man.
Yep.
Have a good rest of your
Great
stream.
day.
Take care, guys. All right, so what we're gonna do right now, guys, for those of you unaware, is in the for the second half of the stream, this is gonna be the first time we've done our first ever fandom fights. We're gonna be pitting together 3 different fandoms: Naruto, Pokemon, and DC. Yes, they're very different fandoms, but we're gonna have 3 panelists that are gonna come on, and they are going to fight to defend their fandoms, and you guys are gonna vote live to decide which fandom wins. I'm gonna go through all those rules and stuff in just a moment. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Please don't go anywhere. And then we are going to bring you right back in and we are going to get this started. So thank you guys so much. 5 minutes, 7:05. We're going to be back here to continue this. Again, thank you guys so much. It's going to be great. I promise you this is going to be an awesome thing. Go ahead and spread the word and make sure you got you yourselves and bring a friend. In 5 minutes, we're going to be back to do this. Please, let's get this started. All right.